Women's basketball program is head coach Jory Collins, student athletes Heaven Hamling and Elle Evans. We'll do normal press conference format with an opening statement from coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes, dismiss the student athletes, then come back to questions for coach. We do have a microphone, so please state your name and affiliation ahead of your question. We'll go ahead with your opening statement for coach.
Yeah, congratulations to South Dakota State. Played a great game. Obviously, fantastic regular season as well. So I know they'll go represent the Summit League really, really well in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, proud of our team and the fight that we had in this tournament and even today in this environment. I thought we came to play. And, you know, similar to the other couple times we've played them, just neck and neck right there until a little separation, 2 or 3 minute spell where, you know, we don't finish and they do. And it gets to that 6, 7, 8 point range against those guys where it becomes really difficult. But I didn't think we quit. I thought we continued to battle and loved our fight today.
We'll go ahead and open up questions for the student athletes.
Dom Izzo, WDAY. Heaven, when it's 47-46, just give me your thoughts on you make a shot there. You're right there at 6 minutes to go, and just describe that stretch, the next 3 minutes of what happened in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we got down a little, but we fought back, and that's what NDSU basketball is about. We're fighters, and we don't quit. So when I made that shot, I was just like, hey, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but, you know, I'm so proud of everyone on our team. Avery Coonan for a freshman was big time for us. And to be able to see them as freshmen just step in a big environment and play the way that they did, I know great things are going to happen for this team.
Mike McFeely from the Forum. Heaven, early on, you guys were turning them over a ton. They weren't making shots, but then you guys couldn't quite make some shots either. And did you feel like you maybe could have got some separation there early on? And what do you attribute you guys maybe not being able to get the ball in the basket enough early?
Yeah, I mean, you make more shots, you're definitely going to probably win the game, but they rolled out for us, which is unfortunate. It really sucks. You know, those are shots we usually make. I know we make a lot more threes than that, but we didn't. And, you know, it doesn't really matter because, I mean, this team will be back, and they'll end up making shots the next time. So I just can't wait to watch.
Jeff, go back to the Forum. Al, can you describe this environment? Was it different than anything you've ever been in?
I think it's definitely a great environment to play in. I mean, for women's basketball, I mean, game in general, I think that this is just what it's becoming, and I'm like so happy that it's becoming this. But you couldn't have asked for a better basketball environment to play in. So obviously sad that we didn't get the win today, but we put up a good fight.
Al, how frustrating was it for you today? You had some shots early, just didn't fall. Just describe was it a frustrating day for you? And then at the end of the game, what happened on the floor there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I had some open looks that didn't fall, but sometimes that happens, you know, at halftime. You know, I kind of got talked to, just keep shooting. They'll end up falling. And then, yeah, in the fourth quarter, I just got banged up, and I don't really know. I just had to go get it fixed and get back out as fast as possible. Yeah, it's at my chin.
Heaven, I know today was disappointing, but we talked a little bit earlier this week about where you guys were when you got to NDSU, and then today there's 5,000 or 6,000 people out there. You're playing on national TV for a chance to go to the big tournament. So if you can just describe where you came from and what today meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's emotional for me, obviously. But Jory's always looked at me as a leader. But in all reality, he's been my leader for 4 or 5 years. And me coming in and just playing with a chip on my shoulder, I hope that I left a mark for all the rest of these guys, for the commits that are coming. I just hope that you play like I would play, with my heart every single time. And I can't thank everyone enough. Matt Larson, Colleen, everyone, all the admin, all the fans. I hope I touched a little girl, an admin, a fan, a family in some sort of way. And I hope that they remember NDSU women's basketball. I know I'll be forgot about in a few years, but I just hope that I left my mark and put NDSU on the uprise.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Just a note on these two, too, they did make the all-tournament team, so congratulations on that. Thanks, ladies, you can head out.
Can I take this?
Yeah. We'll go ahead and open up questions for Coach. We'll start in the front here.
Jory, they've been here in the title game. You haven't. Was that a difference today?
I don't know. I didn't feel like that the first half through the three quarters. I thought it was a very, very physical ball game the entire time, and I think that eventually wore us it late. They're big and strong. They're thicker athletes than us, and that over the course of time, I think that's a big part of why we didn't finish very well. And it was both ways. I mean, you just had to finish with contact today, and I just didn't think that we finished enough baskets through some contact and played physical enough around the rim to score enough points. I thought defensively, we were really, really good. I thought we executed our game plan really well. They had a couple players, we were letting Byam shoot it. She makes two. We were letting Tori shoot it. She makes one late. And that's the way the game goes. You got to try to play a style that's going to give you the best chance, and they had a couple counters there that got us.
I'll ask the same thing that I asked Heaven, which is it felt early on like you had some chances to get up by 5, 6, 8 points. And
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, I mean, I
didn't
thought
quite
we
do
were
it.
guarding, and I thought we were turning them over. We couldn't capitalize. They've been a phenomenal defensive team, for a really long time. They're playing 7 guys. They're really, really connected on that end of the floor. They understand scout and personnel. There's not, it's when it's that tight of a group that's playing. There's each other really, really well on that end of the floor, and so we had to make shots against them. I gave our kids the green light to get them up, and if we make them, we might win that game, and if we don't, we don't, and that's part of it. Playing against those guys, you got to take what you can get.
Jory, that stretch I mentioned with Heaven, you got to 47-46. What broke down there on those back-to-back turnovers that flipped the game?
Yeah, I mean, we had one miscommunication and one just didn't execute the right way, and 2 turnovers and 2 quick buckets, and then we missed an assignment on defense, and that's how it's been. That's where our experience, where we need to get some more experience, where we can handle those situations a little bit better. Because the separation for them is not, I know it ends up 13 or 15, but it's really when it gets to 6 or 7. You feel like then it's life or death on the next basket, or you're not going to be able to get back into it. And so, we've responded against them multiple times when it's got to 7 or 8, but when it got to it this time, we didn't have enough.
How badly is this hurt seeing Heaven's emotions, how badly she wanted this here today?
Yeah, I mean, I love Heaven, and I always will. We're going to be great friends the rest of our lives. We're very similar people, and we get along great. She's on my Mount Rushmore of kids I've gotten to coach. Just because she's the fiery kind of competitor you just love to have on your team and in your gym. And she plays with a chip. She wanted this as bad as anybody. She might be the only player I've ever had that wants to win as bad as I do. And I'm just proud to be able to say I got to coach her and be part of her career. When she's up here talking about leaving a legacy, I don't think anybody's going to forget about Heaven in 3 years. I know she touched a lot of young kids at our camps that came and started coming to our games, and created a little buzz around our program as we've continued to get better. And that's the legacy I know she's going to leave. Besides being the all-time leading scorer in Division I and all the accolades that she gets, she's probably the first person that when we got here that young people really started looking up to.
We'll go to the last question right here.
Can you just talk about, does this show you already knew what you needed to do to get to that level, but I mean, how do you get to that next level to where you can?
We're getting close, Mike. I mean, I feel great about our team. When the kids that we have coming back, the kids that we have coming in, our ability to go recruit now. I told them in the locker room, I mean, this is what the expectation is. Once you get here, we need to be planning on spending 4 or 5 nights in Sioux Falls every March. And we're going to play in this game again. We're going to play in it a bunch of times. And eventually we're going to kick the door down and we're going to go to the tournament and we're going to try to do it again. That's what the job is. That's what I came here to do, and we'll get it done. It's sucks every time it doesn't happen. You know, but there's nothing else you can do but go back to work.
Thanks, Joy. Joining us from the South Dakota State Women's Basketball Program, head coach Aaron Johnson. Student athletes, Paige Meyer, Brooklyn Meyer, and Tori Nelson. As always, our normal press conference format will do an opening statement from coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes, dismiss the student athletes, then come back to questions for coach. Reminder, we do have a microphone. Please wait for that before you ask your question. State your name and affiliation ahead of the question. Go ahead with your opening statement, coach.
Yeah, congratulations, North Dakota State. Great year, I think, playing incredibly well. And you look at kind of the January and February they had, I'm sure the way they're playing now, if they went back in November and December, some of those would be flipped too, and just really playing at a high level. So really impressed with kind of what they've done and their trajectory. So that was a really good win for our group. So proud of everything the ladies did this year. There was not a lot of easy for this group. Nothing just kind of came to them, even in this game. I thought it was a great, example of the kind of team that we have, where things were hard, but I felt like we were always within reach. I felt like we were always in a place where we could go forward. And I think we just kept talking about, let's have the next, best 10 minutes or 4 minutes, or let's be the best we can be in this next stretch of time. And finally, towards the end there, we found some rhythm, made some shots, and defended really well. So great game. Exciting to be going back to the NCAA tournament. Exciting to win this championship. Summit League put on another just great event. I think our women feel like they were, treated with a great experience. The fans were fantastic as always. And like I said, I think this game was probably exactly how it should be based on how our year has gone. And I'm proud that we came out the way it did. So
We'll go ahead and open up questions for the student athletes. We'll start in the front, and then we'll go right behind.
Jeff Kopak from the Forum. Tori, what is it about this program in the fourth quarters that you just seem to separate yourselves from other teams?
Yeah, I think we just trust each other to make plays and we're confident in each other, and, kind of tough to buy some baskets early on, but I think everyone stepped up and moved the ball and found the open person when we needed to, and it was just, finally great to see those shots fall. I'm just really proud of this group for pushing through that.
Matt Zimmer, Sioux Falls Live. Tori, can you take me through a little bit that stretch in the fourth quarter? You made 3 baskets in a row. The three-pointer was probably the biggest shot in the game. Just what was that moment like for you? What was going through your mind? I mean, that was maybe the most I've ever seen you celebrate a basket after that three-pointer.
Yeah, I think that's the happiest I've been to see 3 going too. But you kind of similar to same thing, and just found the open person and just moved the ball well. And I was just happy to step up in that moment for us. We had people step up all game when we needed to make shots, but yeah, I was pretty happy after that one.
Eric Bean, Yankton, President Dakota, and Paige, you get some big threes there in the third quarter, get the team the lead back. What was your mindset really going into the second half?
I think at halftime we just talked about, shots will start falling, but we just had to stick to our defensive plan, which I think we kind of did all game, and we knew shots were going to fall sooner or later.
Any other questions for the student athletes? We'll go last one right here.
Andrew Holden, Briggs Register. Paige, you banked in a 3 there, I think, to tie the game. Seemed like that kind of got the team going a little bit. What was going through your mind when you got the ball and then, when it went in?
Yeah, I guess shot clock was coming down, so I did just kind of throw it up there, but it went in, and yeah, it got us going a little bit. But like I said, I think, we just relied on our defense that game.
All right, just kidding. We'll do one last one, and then we'll finish.
That's okay.
Brooklyn, we've talked a lot this year about all the adversity that you guys have gone through with the injuries and everything. Do you feel like we've overdone that? Is that something that you guys don't think about so much anymore? Or now that you've won this tournament, do you kind of look at it and say, yeah, this is pretty special that we did what we did based on all the things we had to overcome to get there?
Yeah, I think all the things that we've had to go through and all the adversity has definitely made us stronger as a team. I don't think we probably don't look back and reflect on that every day, but I feel like we've definitely responded well to it, and I feel like it's just made us so much closer and much more confident as a team.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and open up questions for Coach.
AJ, what was your kind of thought process at halftime? Kind of a rock fight in the first half, and just kind of what were you thinking, and what did you think kind of sparked your team there down the stretch?
Well, first I was a little irritated myself, just a bad I don't know, choices there right at the end of the half. We had a little bit of a lead and let them kind of get back in it. So I did feel like we were defending well. I think they're really good offensively. Like, they are hard to stop. They have a lot of shooters. They have a lot of people who can get to the rim. They're big inside. They're deep. And so I felt like we were in a pretty good place defensively. We needed to find a way to get some offense going. That was obviously a struggle for us. And we tried a lot of different things. And I think, late found some good luck with a banked in three, and then found a little bit of rhythm at the same time. So really just tried to continue to defend well, but just had to find some ways to score, get some easier looks, because they're as good as they are offensively, they're very good defensively too. I don't think it was a game where we just missed shots. I thought, we weren't in great rhythm. They took a lot of things away from us, and it was hard. So we just had to find a way to get going offensively.
Coach Eric being Yankton, Preston Dakota. I don't want to draw too many parallels, but Hamlin gets a steal and then the banked in three at the buzzer. And then Paige kind of had two similar plays in the second half. Just what do you like about the way she led the team there during that stretch in the third quarter?
Yeah, Paige was pretty resilient, as our whole team has been. Not going back to, injuries. I'm just saying resilient on the court during the game. There were plenty of times in the tournament, because the Omaha game was a tough game. Our USD game was a tough game. North Dakota State was a tough game. Plenty of times where we could have just kind of folded, and we didn't. We were really, really tough-minded. And when your best players play that way, that resonates with everybody else. I thought Brooklyn had some really tough plays, but she had some big finishes too. And it would have been easy for her to shrink a little bit in that game, because it didn't start off perfectly. Tori missed some shots and then ends up having some of the biggest shots of the tournament for us. So that kind of toughness is just so important in these games, trying to stay steady, trying to think about the next play rather than the last play. It takes a lot of maturity. As much as I talk about it, I'm not sure a lot of people could go into that environment and do it, So the group's pretty special, and they've done it a lot this year, so that's a good sign.
Something poetic maybe about Tori hitting those shots the way she did. I mean, we talked this year about being the only senior on this team, having that moment. I mean, that seemed kind of special.
She looked pretty determined. You know what I mean? It's not like she just got it and kind of threw something up. It looked like Tori was commanding those moments, the jump shots, but that drive, that strong finish, that was explosive and that was decisive. And I thought, just watching it, you're trying to coach and trying to move forward, but there was absolutely a part of me is like, Tori, let's go. It was awesome. It was cool to see, and just great moment for Tori as a senior in a pretty big event. So yeah, that was fun.
Tanner Castro with the Brookings Register. I'm sure getting to a tournament every year is always special, but you just said in your opening statement how this season has been hard and challenging. Is there any extra sense of accomplishment with getting there this season?
Yeah, I think everybody wants there to be. I feel like they're all pretty special. I do. I'm not just giving you the company line. It's just they are. Every team goes through different things to get here. Nothing is ever easy to get to this point, ever. And some things are really visibly hard, and some things are a little bit more, kind of off the spotlight, difficult. And so, no, I just want to celebrate this team for what they did. I think it is amazing. I think it is really cool. I think it is remarkable. I'm not minimizing it at all. It is exceptional. Just probably going to stop short of comparing it to other ones, I guess. But yeah, I think we should celebrate this team for what they did. You look at that group on the end of the bench, and they're excited after the game. But I'm sure a part of it was like, hey, I wish I was playing, and everybody who's playing is excited, and they see that group and I wish they were playing, and so you just never really get past that all year. You want it to be, more than it can be. So yes, remarkable, special, exceptionals are all great words. And I think I'll remember those of this team for a long time.
Marcus Traxler, Mitchell Republic. What is the criteria for you between a single fist pump and a double fist pump? I think you unleashed the double on the three-pointer from Tori, so maybe that speaks to that being a special moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't thought that one through. It's just fun. Like, you don't want to get caught up in the emotion when you're out there because you're trying to think about what's next, what do we got to do. But, I just really want to celebrate this team as much as you can, because some of those plays that were made were big plays by big people. And I just want to be there and support them. So it was good. Really good.
I know we talked about the role players on this team quite a bit and the way they've stepped up. But just how important are they, or have they been in this win streak here? Because without them, you're relying so much on Brooklyn and Paige, and they seem to hit big shot after big shot throughout this tournament.
Yeah, you know, and I use it too, so it's me, it's not anybody else, but at some point, they're not role players anymore. So I'm not, Chris, I know I've said that several times as a coach, but you watch Maddie Mathewitz play out there and she doesn't look like a role player, you know? She's grown into something more than that, and Tori's always been more than that, although she's played a role really well. Same with like Ellie. I mean, how about Mesa? Had a big finish, big and one, some of those rebounds she had. I mean, they don't look like role players, but I understand it and have used that myself. So they've just all risen to a really, cool level. And being able to see some new faces do that after we graduated, some all-time greats, had some injuries, that made this year really fun to be a part of.
We'll go last question with Tanner here.
Just seeing you right there kind of get emotional. Where does that deep emotion right now coming from?
Like I said, just seeing the team, you can see people from the stands or from a outside perspective, see people that are out and know that there's obviously some challenges with it, but it's different when you sit in the room with them. It's different when you talk to their families about what's next. It's different when you're trying to move other people forward. There's just such a human element to what we do, and it's really easy to look at it from a statistical standpoint or role standpoint or tactical, but there's just such a human element to what we do, and I enjoy that part of it, and there's human emotions that go into that, so that's a neat thing, I think.
Congratulations, AJ, and thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.